This week on Channel 8 News, we discuss mental health, all things baseball, some Northwest events, and more. Your Channel 8 News starts right now. Thanks for tuning in to Channel 8 News, the show where we provide the latest news and sports coverage on the Northwest Missouri State University campus and in the Maryville community. I'm Kirsten Stokes. And I'm Alexis Kuhnert. Before we get into this week's stories, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for all the latest news and updates. Earlier this month, Channel 8 News reported on Northwest Sigma Tau Gamma member Blake Ommen's multi-vehicle crash. Since then, because of Ommen's serious injuries, he was transported to the Craig Brain Injury Rehabilitation Facility in Denver, Colorado for long-term care. The timeline for his recovery is not yet known. As mentioned last time, a GoFundMe page was created to cover the Ommen family's medical expenses, and according to fraternity members, there's been great progress and Ommen has been intentionally opening his eyes, walking, and talking. For more information, click on the links in the description below. Also, in emergency situations, it's necessary to know how to respond to disasters. This past weekend, a profession-based training exercise took place at Mawera. Here's what you missed. Northwest hosted Atlantic Hope, which is an organization that offers real-life emergency and medical situations through an active simulation of an overseas disaster hitting a small country who's about to go to war. I spoke with the role-play coordinator to learn more about Atlantic Hope.
I collect students and staff and faculty and members of the Maryville community to come in and play victims or sick people or displaced people that are put into training scenarios to help EDM majors, emergency disaster medicine, essentially figure out how to deal with a mass casualty kind of incident and deal with people that have very recently become homeless, like after an earthquake, as this scenario is sort of set out to be. So we took it on here in Missouri, and it's a little bit beyond an earthquake because it's an earthquake that takes place in a second world country that's sort of on the brink of civil war. So there's also political unrest and the need to cooperate with governments that aren't necessarily trusting of Westerners and things like that.
The simulation takes place over 4 days and occurs in 3 different locations. One training exercise is in a disaster field affected by an aftershock where victims have been injured. Trainees are sent to the site to rescue and evacuate the victims. Another training exercise is in the internally displaced people camp. Trainees help people who have lost their homes and give them access to cots and other necessary items. The last training exercise is a search and rescue where trainees look for injured people within buildings and fields. The volunteers received their character information on cards when they walked in, and I asked 2 of them about the characters they portrayed.
Basically, I'm a displaced person who has suffered from an earthquake, whose cities have suffered from an earthquake, and I have like cough, like contact sickness. So I'm just coughing and like have chest pain, chills, some stuff like that.
Yes, I am pregnant. I am totally fine until I go into labor, when all the chaos is happening, so I make it extra difficult for them, and then I'm going to give birth out on the field.
In order to prepare for the simulation, the moulage coordinators use makeup, clay, fake blood, and other elements to create various wounds for sprained ankles, hypothermia, cholera, gunshot wounds, and more to show the conditions of the victims. I asked the deputy moulage coordinator about the type of wounds he enjoyed making.
For me, like I said, it's impalements, because if you get it right, you can create something that is visually very effective with a little bit of shock effect, so that the person who's running through the exercise and being trained gets the effect of seeing somebody who's freshly injured. And an impalement can also be kind of messy, so it kind of adds that shock effect. So that's why I like doing it, because it's visually it's you know, when you get a volunteer role player, or you get that's got that injury, and when the first responder comes up to them and they have a kind of a visceral negative reaction, then as a moulage artist, I know I've done my job.
For those interested in emergency medicine, volunteering with Atlantic Hope provides an opportunity to experience its simulation. For the stories that matter to you, this has been Alexis Kuhnert of Channel 8 News.
And in other news, March was Women's History Month, and Wellness Services and the Student Dietetics Club held a lunch and learn event on women's body image, embodiment, and the relationship with food. Body image issues are on the rise and need to be addressed. Here's what you need to know.
The rise of social media influencers and body image has taken this generation by storm. What started off as chat rooms and ways for friends to communicate from afar turned into everyday people becoming influencers and generations of young adults feeling like their bodies and differences are accepted in a society they should feel comfortable in. Studies have shown that 61% of adolescents have experienced dissatisfaction with their bodies to some extent. During Women's History Month, wellness counselor Courtney Koch held a lunch and chat event to bring all members of Northwest together to talk about unhealthy eating habits and negative body image issues that the youth face today and what we can do to resolve them.
Because our relationships with our bodies are a journey and it's a lifelong process and it's not something that's going to change overnight, so sometimes it's just hard to know where to start. So I hope today they figured out where to start.
Celebrities like the Kardashians, who have been in the industry for over 10 years, have been one of the main trendsetters when it comes to desirable body types and what things to buy, eat, and experience in everyday life. Though direct body image issues are not their responsibility, people are molded to think and act a certain way because that's the standard that society has set. Angela Renee White, previously known as Black China, is an American model and socialite who has reversed some of her cosmetic surgery and is focused on creating a healthier lifestyle mentally and physically for herself.
It doesn't matter what I'm doing or whatever time. I set a time and I'm going to be there as far as with working out, because as adults, nobody can really tell us what to do.
Yeah.
You know, and nobody's really going to hold you accountable but yourself.
Mental health and body image issues aren't confined to social media, but can be present in television and film industries. Jeanette McCurdy, famously known as Sam on Nickelodeon's shows Sam and Cat and iCarly, has stepped out, exposing her experience with being young on film and having to withstand the harmful environment that was created for her at such a young age.
This is an important kind of area. The first therapist that I saw, as I was just sort of sharing anecdotes of my experience with my mom, she eventually got to the point where she said, you know, what you're describing is abuse, and I left. I quit therapy. I couldn't tolerate the idea, the notion that my mom was abusive, because that would mean bringing her down off that pedestal and reframing my entire life. Yeah. My whole existence was sort of revolved around this idea that my mom knows best, and what my mom wants for me is better than what I want for me, because she knows better and I'm nothing without her. So to try and unpack that was something I wasn't willing to do initially, and it took me a while to be able to say, you know what? I'm going to try therapy again. I'm going to face that she was abusive. I'm going to deal with whatever that entails.
Yeah. Her memoir, Glad My Mom Died, highlights her experience with being a childhood actress and how her abusive mother and her neglectful parenting affected the way she thought about her body in a negative way through eating disorders and how she viewed her place in society as she grew older. Some ways body image issues can be prevented is allowing time away from social media, creating healthy habits with food, as well as the environment that you surround yourself with, and seeking counsel and therapy. At Northwest, there are multiple resources when it comes to counseling. Counseling services are included in tuition, so it's important that students take the opportunity to seek these services and receive help if necessary. One app, Body You, provides free personalized programs for those struggling with body image, which include general fitness, eating habits, positive body esteem, and resources for depression and anxiety. One of the biggest things to remember is that you are not alone, and when you're dealing with the stress of college, extra activities, and having a social life, it can be hard to remain positive when it comes to how you view yourself and your body. Take it one day at a time and give yourself grace any chance you can. For the stories that matter to you, I'm Kirsten Stokes with Channel 8 News. Not only did Northwest host events on body image, but there was another event held to reduce the stigmas around mental health with an art exhibit. Here's Tristynn Clark with the story.
Mental health is a hot topic in today's community, especially the stigmas of mental health. In 2022, over 75% of college students struggle with psychological distress, whether that meant depression, anxiety, or other issues. The stigmas presented with mental health typically take over people's minds rather than the actual facts. People with depression are scary. Depression is dangerous. These are both very common stigmas that go along with depression. Mental health isn't just for those who struggle with it, it is for everyone. On Wednesday, Active Minds, the Behavioral Science Association, held the I Will Listen event aimed on reducing the stigmas on mental health with an art exhibit. During the event, there was a short yoga session held, as well as other exercise events students could participate in. Along with the art and the sessions held, people who attended also learned coping mechanisms through various speakers like Professor Brenda Rourke.
And another thing that I found was really helpful with that, because a lot of times you sit down with a journal and you're like, well, what am I supposed to write? Like that I'm anxious? Like, okay, I'm anxious. Like, now what? Or like, I feel depressed today.
There was also merchandise you could purchase, including t-shirts, pins, and a green bandana, which is a part of the bandana project, meaning anyone with one is a safe person to talk to. One speaker, Aidan McMahon, spoke on a few topics like depression and anxiety through poems, which drew people's attention.
I am afraid of living. Mom, I am lonely. I think I learned it when Dad left, how to turn anger into lonely, the lonely into busy. So when I tell you I've been super busy lately, I mean I've been falling asleep watching SportsCenter on the couch to avoid confronting the empty side of my bed. But my depression always drags me back to my bed, until the bones are the forgotten fossils of a skeleton-sunken city, my mouth a boneyard of teeth broken from biting on themselves.
After the event, I spoke with McMahon about her favorite part about the poems.
So I'm a person that struggles with anxiety and depression and OCD, and so I think finding these poems and kind of finding meaning between both the original author and how I wanted to read them was probably my favorite part of reading them.
I also spoke with the advisor of the Behavioral Science Association, Elizabeth Dimmitt, about why this event was so important to execute.
This event is not only a national movement by NAMI, the National Alliance of Mental Illness, but it's an opportunity to start a conversation at Northwest for our students, for our faculty, for the community at large. We have artists displaying their work from all over Nottoway County and beyond, and to be able to really see the power behind people's feelings through their art when sometimes words are not enough. It's an opportunity for us to learn more, to reduce some of that stigma about all of us having stuff in our lives and how we navigate that, and it's about learning ways to cope with those.
Mental health is a topic that is hard to talk about, so this event was impactful to many people who attended. The stigmas around mental health can be destroyed with the help of everyone in the community. It's okay to talk about mental health. For the stories that matter to you, this is Tristynn Clark with Channel 8 News.
Thanks, Tristynn. When we return, we'll be kicking it over to Bearcat Update with Skyler Stamps, who'll look at the baseball highlights and some upcoming sporting events. You're watching Channel 8 News on KNWT.
KZLX is a student-run radio station where Northwest students have complete freedom during their shifts. KZLX also hosts many radio shows such as Nermageddon, Revive, Day-to-Day Picks, and more. To learn more, visit kzlxfm.com.
Hey, have you been? Oh, nothing much. Yeah, I'd love to chat soon. I've just been really busy recently. Yeah, I could probably squeeze you in. Let me check. Let's see. How about Wednesday at 6? Alright, sounds good. See you then.
Welcome back to Bearcat Update, the show for all things Bearcat sports. I'm your host, Skyler Stamps. The Bearcat baseball team was in action this past week. Here's the recap. Northwest baseball was in full swing this week, starting in Tahlequah, Oklahoma to face Northeastern State. Let's start this with a bang. Score tied 2-2 in the 4th inning. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Ryan Koski drills a pitch from Logan Stewart, earning a grand slam, putting the Bearcats up 6-2 over the Riverhawks on a 2-out rally. Top of the 5th, bases loaded. Guess who? Koski again with a monster hit for a double this time, driving in 3 more Bearcats to extend the lead 9-2. Koski would end the game with 3 hits and 7 RBIs. The Bearcats weren't done yet. Trey Morris didn't want to leave Koski on base, so he cleared the fence with a 2-run home run. The Bearcats piled on the runs by adding 5 runs in both the 4th and 5th inning. With the 10-run mercy rule in effect and 2 outs, Alex Slocum throws his 8th strikeout of the day to Cademan Graff to seal the 12-2 victory for the Bearcats over the Riverhawks. Fast forward to Wednesday, the Bearcats were at home to face the Ichabods from Washburn. In the bottom of the 2nd inning, the Bearcats got things started. Parker Griffith doubled to right center, driving in Jacob Seelock for the Bearcats to strike first and take the 1-0 lead over the Ichabods. After the Ichabods tacked on 3 runs, Ryan Koski would single to the left field side, driving in Cole Slabowski to cut the Ichabod lead to 1. The Slabowski run would be the last for the Bearcats on the day. Trey Morris would line out to a diving left fielder in the 9th inning to end the game as the Ichabods took a 4-2 victory over the Bearcats. You can catch the Bearcats at home this week in their 3-game series versus Missouri Western on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The Bearcat Softball team took a hard-earned victory over the Washburn Ichabods 5-1 this past Saturday. The score was tied 1-1 until Madison Freest hit a 2-out grand slam in the bottom of the 6th inning, upsetting the 15th-ranked Ichabods. Going from the field to the track and field team broke school records at the SBU Invite. The men's 4x100 meter relay team ran a blazing 40.40 seconds to set a new school record, and the women's 4x100 meter relay team beat its own school record by running 45.95 seconds. The Bearcat women also had the top finishes in the women's 4x400 meter relay. The B team finished in first, setting a new school record, and the A team trailed behind in second. Now going to the courts, the Northwest tennis teams will play against Emporia State at 2 p.m. this Tuesday at home. That's all the time we have for Bearcat Update. Be sure to tune in next time to stay connected to all things Bearcat sports. When we come back, we'll talk all things business and community events, including the upcoming election, Northwest events, and more. You're watching Channel 8 News on KNWT.
Kirsten, what are you doing here?
What do you think I'm doing here? Making TikToks? And it's not about what I do. It's about what we do here. So we start with storyboarding the content we want to create for our clients. It could be anyone from small businesses, nonprofits, and organizations both on campus and in the Maryville community. We write, we film, we edit, we create, and then we wait. So if you're someone who thinks you need us, we are KNWT Creative Services.
Hey guys, I'm Garrett Bevins.
And I'm Jonas Pilad. We're your host of Gen 2, your favorite place from... Bad, not convincing.
That felt pretty convincing to me.
Do it again.
Oh my gosh.
Action. Please come watch Gen 2 so we can stop doing this.
Again. What do you mean?
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. I'm Kirsten Stokes.
And I'm Alexis Kuhnert.
In your business and community update, the General Municipal election is this Tuesday, April 4th, and Maryville voters will go to the polls with limited options.
The Maryville City Council has 2 candidates, incumbents Ben Lippick and Brian Williams, running for re-election to their 2 seats.
The Maryville R2 School Board will not have contested races because not enough candidates filed to force an election.
However, voters will decide on Proposition M whether to impose a 3% sales tax on recreational marijuana sold in Maryville. For more information, click on the link in the description below.
And in other news, a New Jersey TikTok creator and his street crew traveled all the way to Maryville to pay it forward by giving out a free car to one Maryville resident. Here's the story. What if I told you that a crew from New Jersey drove 19 hours to Maryville, Missouri to give away this free Cadillac? You'd think that I'm crazy, right? Well, Rex Vengeance is a TikToker who has over 480,000 subscribers, and his main goal in life is to pay it forward and to give to those who might not be able to give for themselves. Rex and his team started their morning in Maryville with the Breakfast Club, Holly Kronk and Don Birch, to share the Do It On Purpose motto, encouraging the Maryville community to pay it forward and to do good for others.
Do it on purpose!
Rex's story starts with a single car and a heart to give, never wanting recognition, but hoping to see another person's life get better through his actions.
I only had my truck. It was my own vehicle. I didn't have another vehicle. I didn't have another income.
but I felt like it was going to do something better to help somebody else. And so I started the giveaway. And it evolved. It evolved into this Escalade. It evolved to the Audi that we're now giving away. It's just everything's just still evolving.
With over 1.5 billion active monthly users, TikTok has been one of the fastest growing social media platforms. For Rex, his daily live videos on the platform allow for followers and users to donate, as well as comment for a chance for their names to be on the giveaway car. For Maryville resident Rebecca Smith, her name was chosen from over 50,000 names.
The last 2 years have been really tough. All my vehicles went down in 2020, and since then I just haven't had my own. I haven't really felt like I've had my own sense of freedom. And so like this is literally a big step towards freedom again.
Make It Maryville President Holly Cronk was happy to hold this event and hopes the best for Rex and his crew.
I think because of their mission, I think, we'll do our best to propel it too. I mean, you can't help it. Their tag saying is do it on purpose, and that's true. Be nice, just be a good human, do it on purpose. And that's kind of, like our deal with Make It Maryville. That's why we do what we do. And then meeting up with these guys, it was just perfect.
It takes an entire crew to make this trip happen. And with the right team, he's made these giveaways possible.
I got Evo Joe with the Daily Burnout. He's been my right hand with everything I've been doing since me and him were introduced through TikTok. I got Just Rob, one of my longtime best friends. They were able to come with me for the trip. We got our street team mechanic, Joel, Andrew Whitaker. They're all doing all of their support back home while we take this adventure.
Without the help of followers and people supporting him, Rex can't make a difference. So if you are interested in donating and helping support the crew, you can Cash App $RexVengeance or purchase merch at rexvengeance.com. Paying it forward is always important, and whether your giving is small or big, it makes a difference. For the stories that matter to you, I'm Kirsten Stokes with Channel 8 News.
Once again, Rebecca Smith won a 2003 Rexcalade, as Rex Vengeance likes to call it. Another giveaway will take place in which one lucky person will win a 2010 Audi.
Speaking of some other winners, the Missouri Broadcast Educators and College Media Association held their annual conference in Cape Girardeau this past weekend. All of Northwest student media outlets won multiple awards. Congratulations to everyone, and thank you for all of your hard work and dedication to making the mass media department great.
And now, taking a look at some Northwest events, Greek Life kicked off their annual Greek Week activities last week with the Dunk Take, Walk a Mile in Her Shoes event, and more. Riley Westphahl has the details.
The sororities and fraternities here at Northwest celebrated Greek Week with a series of games and activities to better the bond between the different chapters. To kick off the annual festivities, each Greek organization participated in a chariot race from Mabel Cook Recruitment and Visitors Center to Roberta Hall. I spoke with SIGEP member Robbie Keys to learn more about the event.
All the guys will line up with their chariots, and then they'll start running as fast as they can down the road, and whoever wins, wins. I just love seeing all the Greek people of Northwest come together. It's really all about a family here, and it's really fun to come together as a family and really work together on these events.
The following Wednesday, each Greek organization brought out their competitive side in a game of Capture the Flag at Bearcat Stadium. I asked Greek Week committee member Brianna Reeve why these activities are so important for each chapter to participate in.
So years ago, they had a Greek Week and everything was a full 7 days, and they got rid of it. At the moment, I don't remember exactly why, but then last year was the first year that we brought it back for a weekend. And it's just like bringing like Greek unity, like all the fraternities and sororities together. And like we have a couple other ones like Alpha Phi Alpha. And so like we, had them come in too, just to kind of bring everybody together and just show like, support and love. I enjoy participating in these events because like I met some of my best friends through here. I know that's kind of cliche, but like it is like a bond because you spend so much time with these girls and like with the guys too. And so it's a great way to meet people and like broaden your horizons and opens the door for like opportunities.
Greek Week wrapped up on Saturday with a field day where every sorority and fraternity had the chance to compete in a number of activities, including dodgeball, obstacle courses, tug of war, and more. For the stories that matter to you, I'm Riley Westphahl with Channel 8 News.
And in some upcoming Northwest events, April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and the university is hosting multiple events to raise awareness of sexual assault and to prevent sexual violence. Some of these events include What Were You Wearing and Take Back the Night.
Also, a spring tradition is returning for the first time since before the pandemic. This week, Bearcats can celebrate Northwest Week with a barbecue, free t-shirts, food trucks, yoga, and donuts. For more information about these upcoming events, click on the links in the description below.
And finally, this semester's graduates recently received an email stating that the spring commencement ceremony reached its max capacity. This is Northwest's largest graduation ceremony with more than 1,025 walkers, including some KNWT members. The ceremony will be held at 10 a.m. on Saturday, May 6th at Bearcat Stadium.
Well, that's all the time we have for Channel 8 News. Be sure to click on the links below to rewatch certain sections of our show, as well as some upcoming events here at Northwest.
We also want to hear from you, so leave a comment below on these stories, and be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for all the latest news and updates, as well as other content on our YouTube page at KNWT TV. For the stories that matter to you, this has been Channel 8 News. Thanks for watching.
Click on those 2 videos on the right to watch some of our other content as well as our past episodes.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell, and follow us on all of our platforms.
And if you have pictures or videos of some newsworthy events, please DM us on any of our platforms.